I apologize for how long it's taken for an ancient gear profile, but the best things in life are worth waiting for, and this format was worth waiting for. Thank you, Konami, for polishing the edges of the meta a little bit, kind of bringing everything down to balance. I think with the new time rules, it's really not going to be that bad. I just went to a regional over the weekend at St. Petersburg, whatever, the one by St. Louis, I think, down in that area. I went X3, it was 8 rounds. I lost to Yummy, one Jaco Tail, and then, what was the last one? I had a double loss with Yummy. So I lost to my one Yummy player, Draco Tail, and then we weren't able to finish our match, so we did have the new time rule come in effect, which the new time rules are really not that bad. It only came into play once, and both my opponent and I were very civil about it, so really not that big of a deal. Never saw any arguments or anything about it, so if you're a good person, play ethically, and you know your deck, it's not going to inhibit you too much. But Ancient Gears is fucking stupid as usual, so I implore you, if you have not picked up this deck, never a better time than now, but the rarity bumps and shit that we just got also are really, it's really coming together. I'm so excited. The voice actor for Crowley is actually going to be at the Collecticon in Chicago. I think it's like October 11th and 12th. So I'm planning on heading up there for that. So I need to have him sign some of my shit so that I can have, I'm working on having the most maxed out Ancient Gear deck. And so with the misprints that I got coming in and whatnot, we'll be there pretty soon. But without further ado, I'm going to show you what I'm rocking with right now in this format, I think, or as this format's starting. But I think that this deck has so much potential. Again, I'm not saying that just because I'm a Earth Machine fanatic, but just seeing how, with the format just starting, everything kind of getting its, limitations in place. Like, again, the Fiendsmith engine getting, I don't know, not even saying that was a huge hindrance, but Konami just really helped, bring the power limit down on a lot of stuff. Yummy is obviously a deck, but I think that we have a very, very easy way of crippling it. And it's not an insane matchup. If you can make Fortress Stick, you're typically cool. So, without further ado, I think I'm at 43 cards in the main. You could theoretically drop it down a little bit, but my biggest thing is I hate opening up duel. Hey, Olive. Got Puppy up here with me. I hate opening up duel, and so anything I can do to potentially mitigate that a little bit. I only drew it in as my 6th card once the entire regional. Other than that, I didn't see it in my opening hand all day, so I'm very thankful for that, because the night before I was seeing it, that is my bane. I open up duel left and right. So 3 statue, card's still cracked. What you can do with this now too, with your catapult play, is if you pop Gear Town, you're able to make Wyvern, and then have your Gear Town summon this, so that Wyvern can search Fortress, so that whenever you're making sure that your Dark Golem effect resolves, which is arguably your most important effect. So there's just certain lines now that this, again, just allows you to play more safely under. Again, I've top decked this once in a situation where I was like, hey, I've got full protection, I just don't have an engine starter or a way to get my shit going, and then I top decked this, and I was like, oh, thank you, Ancient Gear statue. Commander is now an ultra rare, so he's inherently not as shitty to open up because he's shiny now. So if he blends in with the rest of the hollows a little bit more, but still a solid one of. You obviously need to play him to get your dual effect in order, but I don't see him being ever more than 1. 2 tanker, OTS super win, Konami, or something, but we're so close. This, I think, again, you definitely need more than 1. It's a great extender with Howitzer, but then also, which, again, that doesn't come up too much, did, though, at the regional, where you make Howitzer, if they have to destroy Howitzer, you bring Tanker out, Tanker summon Howitzer, and then they have to destroy Tanker and Howitzer, and then Howitzer brings out another card. So that was fun. But I think 2 is a perfect ratio for this deck. And then your Stratos, 3 Wyverns still. Again, I don't think that there's much to contest there. I think that this ratio lineup works pretty fluidly. And then, of course, your 2 Dark Golem, the Starlight Rares are nice. I actually had multiple people, as they saw me playing this at the regional, I had a guy come up and he just gave me he put it on my mat right before one of the matches started. It was really cool. Again, the people that I met at that regional, I will say, if I interacted with you, there's a couple guys, I think it was round 8 that everyone subscribed. Everyone there was really cool. Again, the Tenpai player that I got to play against, your first regional, man. It was a very, very fun event, and everyone there was very, very cool just to interact with. Made a lot of homies, and that's Again, didn't get my invite. I was close. That's where I got my invite last year with this deck. So, but I definitely didn't know. Like I've been so slammed with work that I did not get much testing against Yummy or Draco Tail. So whenever I played against them at that regional, that was my first time like actually playing against them and like reading the cards. So never an excuse, but obviously being comfortable with the meta, knowing what cards do, it just makes you interact a lot more optimally. And so that's what we had to get out of the way. But for the animals, you got a frog, a turtle, a spider, and just a Kuro, because all these can be found in the wild. The kaijus are clutch as fuck. This will never not be in this deck. You summon it with Urgent, and then it's allows you to bring out Tanker or Golem from graveyard, so it is your extender. The kaijus put in serious work. I only bricked on them once. I opened up like 2 of them, and I had like I want to say my hand was like talent. I don't know. It was a very funky hand where I didn't have any engine to push, so I was just kind of sitting there looking at a bunch of board breaking cards and like just nothing optimal to do. So that only clunked once, but then the amount of times that these were able to out things, like the White Forest player, I think I drew kaijus all 3 games against him and was able to kaiju the Omni Negate. I didn't play Blue Eyes. I think this probably came up 4-ish times in total throughout the day where I was able just to 1-for-1 out a problem card. And again, even since I've been playing Trains like years ago, kaijus have always just been a very effective source. You're able to give your opponent a card, which means your duel is live, your ballista is live to give you a target to make 0 attack and defense. It just, again, I think it inherently plays well with the strategy. I was playing Dingirsu in the extra deck, so you could theoretically overlay Dark Golem and Gamma Seal into Ding, and then with Ding you can like add this back from your banish and slap them underneath, which is kind of tasty. Or go into Zeus after the Ding. Those have both been taken out since. Just here's a machine, so you can go into Genius with them if you want. Typically, you're always giving your opponent the spider. No one's turtly enough for the Turtle Club, so no one gets my Gamma Seal. All right, I think that's it for the monsters, except for, oh shit, we got jellyfish things. These guys. So these are really the only hand traps I played. You want to draw cards or put your opponent on a suboptimal board. I felt like I drew these when appropriate, sided Perulias out occasionally, but I did draw well. I will not lie. I felt like I was drawing like I was supposed to be drawing. And that happens. That's what's supposed to happen. I'd much rather be saying that than saying like, I fucking bricked all day. Like I can sit down and like boastfully say like the deck was running very clean. I felt like the ratios were right. I was opening up amazing hands of board breaking, but the 6 Mulch Armies I think are a very safe bet for this format. I think it's a 43 card list, so if you wanted to whittle it down to 40, by all means, go for it. 2 Gear Town. I think that I have had enough, I don't want to say like validation, but like that's come up enough times that I will now look at you in the camera and say like 2 Gear Town, side one out if it doesn't adhere with like your playstyle for going first, or if you don't think you need it for whatever reason. But there was a match where I was in game 3, and I'd used the first one, and sometimes I do side out the second one depending on game 2 or 3 or what's going on. And I couldn't remember if I had or not, but I definitely I assumed that I hadn't. And I made a ballista, activated effect to surge, and I knew that there was a Gear Town, or I thought that there was, and as I was going through my deck, I was like, holy fuck, I sided it out, and that was my OTK line. I can't believe I just jagged, and it was like the 5th to last card. And so little moments like that where I was like, thank God I play the second Gear Town. Like here's my logic behind this, guys. And some people play 1 in their list, totally fine. 3 is overkill. My theory behind this is you have 2 Gear Town, it is not once per turn, and it is searchable, not only through Ballista, but Dark Golem as well. So there's a few different ways you can get to it, but also you have more than 2 ways of destroying it. You have Ballista, Tanker, and Catapult. And technically Tornado Dragon as well. So the fact of the matter is that for it not being a once per turn effect, and the whole point of the deck is to it is a glass cannon, but it is to give your opponent 1 turn to set up their board, and then you absolutely capitalize on it. And so my theory behind this is whether you get Nibiru'd, the Yummy that Book of Eclipses, I don't know, there's multiple things out there that could go wrong on your turn. This is just meant to be a way to get through it. And so I've never really regretted. There's been some instances, yes, very few and far in between, where let's say the one time at the YCS I opened up 2. I can are burned in my memory forever, but the amount of times that I've been able to win more games because I have the second one far outweighs the amount of losses that I've taken from it. And so at its base level, again, I'm going really deep into this, but I've just had some intense debates on whether 1 or 2, and I will seldom say that I think 2 Gear Town is the correct ratio. rant over. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Fortress, thank you, Ancient Gear Gods, Crowler, whoever I need to give praise to for putting this in my hand as much as it was. This card is, again, it's the 10 Pie Field spell, but for Ancient Gears, and if people let this stick, punch them. Ancient Gear Advance is now an Ultra, as it should be. It looks phenomenal with the holo printing, but this card will never not be at 3 in this deck. It is a 1-card start tile. 3 Urgent Schedule, going first, decide this out. I played against a couple Blue Eyes last night at locals, which I won with this deck, went 3-0. 2 Blue Eyes and Lumina Knight, but this sucks against Spirit Dragon, so it's typically an easy side out if need be. But came up a lot. I would say, whenever I saw it, it pairs very well with Forbidden Droplet, because god damn it, if this card doesn't feel like it's made specifically for this deck, I don't know what would. But this is, this was also in my hand quite a bit. I'm very appreciative of this card. I think I did send, I drop loaded for 4 at one point on the regional, and that was, it was nasty, but this was very, very well received all day on my end. I would dare say that, like, again, Yummy is the only one that was kind of against, and maybe I wasn't playing it as optimally, but I think that for how much they're able to cycle their shit out or what have you, it was just kind of, I just didn't feel confident with that one. But that's not to say that I can't learn that line better. But point is, Forbidden Droplet felt amazing. And 2 Slumba. This was at 3, dropped it down to 2. If you really were trying to cut down to 41, I guess you could cut one of these out. But this card put in work, and I haven't really played it like the last year, and the night before the regional, we were like, yeah, let's get a little funky. And that's when we put the Kaiju package in, and I never used the Banish from Graveyard effect to search. You typically just win if you're resolving that card, but it did clear boards, and it put, like, people either had to waste, like, their Herald Negate on it in some instances, like, but it applied pressure, and that's really the biggest thing. Also, you, like, opening up these two, and it happened twice, I believe. I was able to clear the board, and then Ancient Gear Advance, add whatever I need, and then distribute the Kaiju for a draw, so you haven't even committed any of your Ancient Gear monsters yet, and you're, getting decent value. So, Sludburst, welcome, but not necessarily needed per se. Like, if you wanted to cut them and just keep the Kaijus, well, now you're 41. But point is, I ran Kaiju Slumberst and they worked pretty alright. We'll keep trying them out in the format. Let's get rid of all these so I can do the one-ofs. Alright, and for all the spicy one-ofs, Fusion, Catapults, again, should go without saying. The second one will still always be on the side for now. Catapult, I think, is fine at 1. You can resolve the first effect the first turn, Graveyard effect to get value out of it the second turn. If you have it won by the third turn, then 8. I guess, like, the Holy Trinity, not even. This, you get in the center. You go where you deserve. You belong. She was glued to my hand. I don't know if I opened up any one-ofs as much as her. This card was awesome. Sometimes it was only 1 for 1. Got a lot of 2s and 3 for 1s with her, but I opened this card like crazy, and I was very appreciative. I didn't really ever see either of these two. I think the one time, no, I saw this twice. I think I discarded it one time off Dark Golem, didn't need it, but idea was just to have, very, very potential. Like, I think I did use this once, but it wasn't, like, it was a win more type moment. I think that this should be a staple in this deck, honestly, because, again, if you can clear more than 1 card, then you're getting insane value. Argument can be made with Call By or Talents, I guess, either way. I can't say that these are going to necessarily be mandatory, but damn it, you typically don't ever open up these cards and you're like, oh, man. And then Duel, just don't draw it. That's it. That's the game plan. If you can set at your desk and practice just not drawing Ancient Gear Duel, you'll be fine. Like, that's my advice to you. Don't even worry about the combo lines. Just don't open up Duel, and literally everything else will just make sense. And that's, again, I take it from me. I've been putting in the work. I know how the deck runs, and if you open up Duel, just everything goes to darkness and you don't see. No, for real, this card is insane, though. It does allow you to be unaffected by monster effects. This is how you play around Nibiru. Set up your OTK lines as if your opponent always has Nibiru. If they're sitting on 3 to 4 cards and they're cool, calm, and collect, while you're sitting there bombarding them with fucking Ancient Gear monsters, and you're like, why is this guy not, like, I have Fortress on the field, why is there ice in his blood? He thinks he's got you because he has Nibiru. Holy shit. Set up your OTK line so that you get Nibiru'd, and then you have a way of bringing back Dart Golem after it's like, i.e. the gecko or the fucking frog, catapult engrave. You get what I'm saying. Just set yourself up so that you can bring out Dart Golem, make this or with this, and then just make ultimate. Jesus, why am I? Yeah, it's ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. Yeah, ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. This is how you OTK through Nibiru. If you get nibbed, that's okay. You still make him after, and again, I've done this in a lot of my duels, so their plays are out there. But if your opponent makes a Nibiru, here's your Nibiru, whether it's in attack mode or defense mode, it's 30,000 attack. So this is able to attack over just the 14, and then he can attack twice still. And so, again, the fact that you can set yourself up to be able to play through Nib, like there should be very little things if you can get your Fortress to stick that can rattle you. And so it is fun to be able to play with like unapologetic confidence of, you're like, hey, you know your combo, and that's again where this deck requires that discipline to be able to. It is a very unforgiving deck. If you mess up, it can be hard to try and get yourself back on track. I did that a couple times at the regional, and I had to really shake it off and go, okay, hey, mentally you just jagged, but you know that you got that. And so just, I don't know, I like the deck for that reason a lot. Extra deck, Clockwork Knight. I did make him to go into SP. That might have been last night, though. Yeah, I don't think that was at the regional. I never used him to search Clockwork Knight against the Tempai player. I knew he was going to make me go first. I opened up the spell and a Heat Wave, so had I not opened up either one of those, I would have tried to go into him, search the Clockwork Knight, and just stick it so that they can't do dragon shit. But he looks great on the top of the extra deck regardless, and so that alone makes him worth it. Haggard, never made him, so again, he's a very good idea tech for being able to clear 2 monsters off your own board, getting rid of them, and drawing a card, making a monster's attack low, so that like your catapult or certain cards can be opened up, but also drawing cards is decent. 2 Batista, because 3 is too many and 1's not enough. If you like to OTK, I would play this card. SP Little Knight, I did not make this. I did not make this at the regional, but yesterday it came up. Very niche, but again, you'd rather just have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. Genius, generic link too, but you can turn off funky cards with it, which again, it allows. Play it. There's not, I mean, your extra deck is free enough that there's no reason not to. And again, like if you're playing shit like Jizukiru and whatnot, it just takes 2 link monster or machine monsters. And then 1 Phoenix, because popping back row is good. For the fusions, we are not playing Megaton, but we are playing these 3. I do have a ulti foil shift of this coming in, so bear with me. I know it looks so sad compared to the other 2, but I will finally have misprints of all 3 of the fusions. So if any one of you have Ancient Gear misprints out there that you'd like to contribute, please hit up my DMs, because I love maxing my shit out, and I'm trying to work on, I think I'm pretty much at like if anyone's got a higher rarity or a more flexed out Ancient Gear deck, let's fight for it. XYZ's Tornado, Paguska, and Dagaris, not a QCR, fuck me. But point is that for rank 4s, this is just for going first. You set this up with Howitzer, and your opponent better have something insane. Tornado Dragons for popping either your opponent's back row or your own back row, because you can hit Fortress, Gear Town, all that fun stuff. Dagaris is just if your opponent doesn't have any monsters, you make Chaos Giant double attack, and or if your opponent has 1 monster, that's also another very effective way. But we're also playing the Draco Tail and yummy snatchy targets for, you guessed it, cherries in the extra deck. These are, I mean, again, I don't see how yummy plays without snatchy, and if you hit this shit for Draco Tail, they're not really having a good time either. So again, if you can catch the mid combo or on their first turn and just cherries and go, hey, okay, cool, make whatever board you want, because here's Fortress and the whole army that I've got ensuing after it. But that is as the extra deck stands right now. I'm very confident in this extra deck. I don't really think there's a whole lot they have to do differently. Obviously, you got a little bit of wiggle room for text, like with the Lizard. You don't have to play the Phoenix. Like again, there's a lot of wiggle room in the extra deck technically. So if you have ideas that have been working for you, some people have suggested the K9 package. I have not played with it yet, but I know that there's definitely some viability there. So you could probably go in a more competitive sense and get 2 or 3 slots out of this very easily. K9s were an engine that could run with this, but at that point, I don't know if you'd just be better off playing like Infinite Tracks and Brutal Dozers because it's Earth Machine shit and it's level 5 and it does all the same jazz. But Brutal Dozer does lock you into Earth Machines, I guess. So before I open my mouth and say really stupid shit that I don't really know anything about, I would have to play test. But the side deck does consist of 3 Clockwork Knight because it's a floodgate and going first it's insane against certain matchups. It doesn't do much against a Yummy, I don't believe. The Draco Tail just says one Draco Tail monster. There's 2 things that this was for. It did work against Tenpai really well. Oh, it wasn't Lunalite. Overthinking it, doesn't matter. Great card. I'm sorry that explanation is cheeks on it, but if you have it, decent. Could play something else. Heatwave. MVP. I cited this in 3, if not 4 times at the regional. All 3 times that I knew that I thought I was going first, I did go first, and I swear to God I drew it. There was one time, I thought, it was like a last minute thought that I had. I was like, I was citing for going second, but I was like, he might make you go first. I felt it in my bones, so I cited in 2 of them. Shuffled, presented, he's like, you're going first. And I was like, fuck. First card I drew literally was Heatwave, and I was like, I was meant to win this match. And so there is not a better going first card. Like, all you're doing is skipping your opponent's turn, it comes back to you, awesome. And now you proceed to win. But just know that if they set a monster, you're perfect, because that's what you want them to do. If they don't set a monster, now you got to OTK, typically without fusion summoning, which is fine. But all this does is blink your opponent's turn, you get 1 back to you, and that's all that you could ever ask for. 2 Lightning Storm. This will probably, I mean, you could put this to 3, honestly, at this point, but you've got the 2 Storms and the 1 Duster, so it just depends on how much back row you're really trying to get. I mean, I guess you could say, like, you could swap out 1 Clockwork for the Storm, since this one's searchable and this one's not, so there's some ideas for you. Second fusion, just again, if you're going first, you side this in so that you can make Howitzer and still have a second fusion for your, like your Chaos Giant later on down the road. So that's where he sets 3 Droll and Cuckbird. I drew this a lot when I needed to. And now, 3 Cherries. This was Lancia, but because Malice is bye-bye, it should be phasing out. Cherries is your replacement for that, and so, again, it works out well because we aren't playing Ultimate Slayer in the main deck, so that opened up a lot of extra decks place. So, again, all we're doing is modifying the deck for the format moving forward. But I do think that this is going to be a phenomenal deck for this upcoming format, and I think that there's going to be a lot of potential. Again, I'm very open to feedback. I would love to see what you guys think about it. I know that we've been eagerly awaiting a list, so I appreciate your patience as well. But again, the regional was awesome. I really appreciate everyone that like I subbed. The gentleman, forgive me for not remembering your name off the rip, but you talked to me in the card shop, and he was like, "Hey, you weren't wearing a hat. Last time I met you, you were wearing a hat. It threw me off guard." But those interactions do make like everything awesome for me. Like, or just this whole channel is very, very cool for me to be able to have. I don't think I'll ever get used to, people saying like, "Hey, I'm subbed to you already." I don't know. It always tickles my heart, and I do have genuine appreciation for it, guys. So thank you very much. I hope you can go absolutely wreak havoc at your locals with this list or something comparable to it. I cannot say this enough, that this deck is so much fun. People really have, people do respect it because it's not just a cheesy OTK deck. It sucks to get OTK'd. I mean, Fortress, as soon as it hits, you are SOL, but that does not change the fact that it's like a fan favorite deck. I feel like when I go to regionals, I just don't see anyone else ever playing it, and so it's okay. I mean, I know that they're out there, but you got to be willing to bring it to a regional and whip people around. But guys, thank you again. That is it for the deck profile for today, but like I said, just wanted to get that updated list out for you, and looking forward to hearing what feedback you got for me. I will catch you all in the next one.